She was buried alive under snow. Her tent was crushed in a deadly avalanche, her body bruised, her legs weak. But just 12 days later, that same woman stood at the top of the world, 8,848 meters above sea level, where even breathing can kill you. Her name was Junko Tabei, and she became the first woman in history to conquer Mount Everest. But how did a shy 4'9" woman from Japan rise above every doubt, every danger, and every death zone? Let's begin her unbelievable journey. Junko Tabei was born on September 22, 1939, in Miharu, Fukuyama, Japan. She grew up in a modest home surrounded by hills and mountains. From a young age, she loved climbing. While other children played indoors, she would wander the hills, imagining herself standing above the clouds. At 10 years old, she climbed Mount Nasu for the first time, a moment that changed her life forever. She said, "I felt free. I wanted to climb higher to see what no one else had seen." But her passion faced a harsh reality. In post-war Japan, women were expected to marry, raise children, and stay at home. Climbing was considered a man's activity, dangerous and unsuitable for a girl. Junko refused to accept that. She quietly decided, if the world says I cannot, I will prove them wrong. As a young adult, Junko joined mountain clubs, but she faced constant rejection. Men dismissed her abilities. Some even said, "You are too weak. Mountains are not for women." Junko's response wasn't anger, it was action. In 1969, she formed her own group, the Ladies Climbing Club Japan, a team of women determined to climb mountains abroad. Her motto was simple: let's go on an expedition ourselves without waiting for permission. This was revolutionary. In a society that dismissed women's strength, Junko and her team were about to prove that courage knows no gender. By 1975, Junko was 35 years old, married, and a mother. Yet her dream of Everest burned brightly. She organized a 15-member, all-women Japanese expedition, determined to climb the world's highest peak. But funding was nearly impossible. Sponsors laughed at them. People said, "Women climbing Everest? Ridiculous." Junko and her team didn't give up. They worked tirelessly, recycling paper, taking part-time jobs, and saving every coin for their journey. Every obstacle strengthened their resolve. In spring 1975, the team arrived in Nepal. They took the southeast ridge, the same route as Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay. But the mountain is ruthless. At Camp 2, disaster struck. A massive avalanche buried their tents. Junko was trapped under snow, unconscious, and her body battered. Most people would have quit, but Junko's determination burned stronger than fear. Just 12 days later, she was climbing again. Above 8,000 meters, known as the death zone, human life begins to deteriorate rapidly. The air is thin, every step is agony, every breath is a fight. Junko and her Sherpa guide Ang Tessering pushed forward, battling extreme cold, blizzards, and exhaustion. At 8,848 meters, where oxygen is scarce and the mountain shows no mercy, Junko Tabei finally reached the summit. At 8:50 a.m., May 16, 1975, she became the first woman to stand on top of Mount Everest. Standing at the summit, Junko looked out over the clouds, the world spread beneath her. She didn't climb Everest for fame or recognition. She climbed for the love of mountains, for the thrill of the climb, and for the dream that refused to die. Her courage inspired millions, and the world finally saw what women could achieve. Junko Tabei didn't stop at Everest. She went on to climb the 7 summits, the highest peaks on every continent, becoming the first woman to do so. She dedicated her life to teaching and protecting the environment, raising awareness about mountain conservation and inspiring young girls to dream big. Even after being diagnosed with cancer in 2012, she continued climbing. Her last expedition was in 2015, a year before her passing in 2016 at the age of 77. Junko Tabei proved that courage, determination, and passion can defy the impossible. Junko once said, "Do not give up. Keep on your quest." She transformed a small-town girl's dream into a historic achievement. She showed the world that mountains don't care about gender, only heart and perseverance. Standing on the summit, facing the wind, snow, and danger, Junko Tabei whispered a truth for all of us. No dream is too high, no mountain too tall.